In this video, we're going to have a look at converting numbers which are written in standard form back into ordinary numbers. Specifically, we're going to have a look at converting small numbers. These are the ones where our answers are less than 1 and typically have lots of zeros at the front, so 0 point something. Because we're looking at small numbers, all of our powers of 10 are going to be negative. This means to convert back into an ordinary number, we take the number at the front and divide it by 10 as many times as our power says. There is a trick to help us work out our answers. So, let's have a look at some examples. Our first question asks us to convert 6 times 10 to the power of minus 3 from standard form into an ordinary number. I'm going to start by looking at the power, which is minus 3. I'm therefore going to write down 3 zeros. So you can see that's 1, 2, 3 in total. Next, I'm going to put a decimal place after my first 0. And finally, I'm going to write the digits that appear at the front of the number in standard form, which is a 6, at the end of the zeros. This means that my final answer is 0.006. Let's do the same thing for my second example. I'm going to start off by looking at the power. Because it's minus 1, that means I need 1 0. Next, I need to put in my decimal place after the first 0. Now, because I've only got 1, it's going to go here. And finally, I write the digits that appear at the front of my number in standard form. So that's a 5 and an 8. This means that my final answer is 0.58. For my third example, I start off by looking at the power. Because it's minus 5, this means I need 5 zeros at the front of my number. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Next, I need to put a decimal point after my first 0. And finally put the digits that appear at the start of my number in standard form. So that's a 1 and a 7. My final answer is 0.000017. And for my last question, start off by looking at the power. I need 2 zeros because my power is minus 2, so that's 1 and 2. Next, I need to put a decimal place after my first 0. And I can finish off by writing the digits that appear at the start of my number in standard form. So that's 4, 0 and 9. This means that my final answer is 0.0409.